Hello and welcome to another open mic night. And since in the last week a lot of news has happened, a lot of things have just gone on that I kind of want to talk to you guys about, and I'm excited for this week's show. I hope you guys have enjoyed the past few weeks, or if you're a new listener, I hope you enjoy this show. Now just remember that this show is available on YouTube, and it's also available in podcast form. So, just to get started, I just want to get started with the news this week. Now there's been a lot of things in the news with Comcast. Comcast is actually buying out Time Warner. It hasn't passed all the regulatory stuff yet, but people are starting to say that it is going to go through, it is going to happen. And so Comcast is going to buy Time Warner, which is going to give them a huge share of the cable and ISP market. Now, that is a story that I actually covered in the Corner Chair podcast last week, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on that story. But what I did want to talk about was the next story that came out with Comcast in the last week. The next story is that Netflix, and I seem to have a trend with following Netflix stories. I don't know why, or maybe they're just in the news a lot. I'm not sure. But Netflix pretty much has been complaining that Comcast customers do not have fast access to their service. Now, there's been accusations that Comcast slows down the access to Netflix for their customers. Now, this has actually been proven in a couple different ways by certain customers running their own tests. And again, this is another story that I covered in the Corner Chair podcast. So if you guys want to hear more about this, go check out last week's Corner Chair podcast. That's at WegerTech.com. If you guys haven't listened to that before, you can just go to the news segment of that show and you can hear all about it. Now, but pretty much it is kind of proven that Comcast has been slowing down access to Netflix for its customers. Now, obviously, this hurts Comcast because their customers are not getting fast access and they're going to complain to Comcast. But it's kind of a strategic play by Comcast because now what has happened is Netflix has agreed to pay Comcast for a direct connection to their customers. So there will be a direct, I think it's called peering, and so Netflix will have direct access to the customers and vice versa, meaning that the speed will be right back up to what it used to be. But the thing that people are complaining about is that Netflix should not have had to pay for this. Now, as an internet service provider, you should have access to all of the internet, and that should not be encumbered by your ISP restricting certain services. Imagine if this were to play out in other scenarios. Any other company having to pay your internet provider to have you have access to their stuff, that just doesn't seem right. If you're paying a company to access the internet, you should have open access that's not restricted by what that company deems to be acceptable. But either way, Netflix has done it. Netflix has paid Comcast, and so now Comcast customers are going to have fast access to Netflix. Now, that just kind of bothers me, and like I said earlier, I just don't think that certain companies should have to pay for people to have access to their content. I think of myself as, making these videos, and I know that they're on YouTube, but if I were publishing them on my own, I don't want to have to go out and pay all the internet service providers for you guys to have access to my stuff. Theoretically, it's not going to happen to the little guy, and it's only to these big, huge companies like Netflix. But if you just think about it in theory, it would be like me having to go pay Comcast for you guys to be able to watch my show. And so just in theory, I don't really agree with it. But it's something that I think needs to be changed within Congress, within the government, and the regulations and how all this stuff works. We talked about in the other show when it came to the Comcast Time Warner deal that a lot of the people that sit on, the FCC and stuff like that are big activists for the cable companies. So a lot of the stuff isn't going to change. They're interested in seeing the cable companies make money. They want to see the cable companies make money. It's whatever. It's kind of a big debate, but I just kind of wanted to bring it to light to you guys to show you kind of maybe some of the problems that are going on in the cable industry. Now, the next big story that I want to talk to you guys about, I'm not going to get into the details, but if you guys looked at the front page of the marketplace of the Wall Street Journal today, there's an activist, and his name is Carl Icahn. Now, Icahn is bringing up a lot of accusations about how board members in the Valley, in Silicon Valley, board members are sitting on way too many boards. Now, a lot of these board members are venture capitalists who are investing money into these new companies. But the thing is, when these venture capitalists, oftentimes, they spread around their money. They make sure that they have, a wide portfolio. And a lot of times they're sitting on boards of many companies. And some of these companies intersect when it comes to competing with each other. And so in these accusations, but I'm just going to kind of cover it broadly, but in the accusations, pretty much he's saying that some of these people are sitting on these different boards of competing companies, and they're not really having the best interest in mind of the companies. They're kind of wanting just to kind of pad their wallets a little bit and make sure that what one company does maybe makes this company make more money, which in turn makes the venture capitalists more money. So there's a lot of things going on in Silicon Valley with people really wondering if these people should be allowed to sit on numerous boards. Now, a lot of people have just accepted that that's the way Silicon Valley works. You have a lot of venture capitalists, and those venture capitalists are encouraged to sit on as many boards as they can for the companies that they invest in. But we're starting to see that we need some sort of regulation. We need something to tell them that they can't be in the discussion, in the room, when the companies are talking about those competitors that those investors invest in as well. Again, this is another one of those fun things that, maybe I've been watching too much House of Cards, but I kind of like to see maybe the kind of the cynical view of, man, these people are just in it for their own power and in it for the money, and these cable companies are out to, do these secret deals that make them more money. And so maybe I've been watching too much House of Cards, but it's just something fun that I think you guys should know about. I think you guys should know that this stuff exists, that there are these problems, there are these stories, and just so you can start thinking about it and formulating your own ideas. Now, I don't think that maybe government interaction in this case, would be the best idea. I'm not saying what I think would be a solution, because honestly, I don't have a solution. I just read these news stories and I find them interesting, and I want to pass them on to you. But if you guys have an opinion and you guys want to share it with me, or you want to talk it out with me, I think that would be awesome. Tweet at me, @mwieger, or email me, mike@wiegertech.com. A few of you have done this in the past, and we've had awesome conversations. I don't want to sit down and argue with you, but I love hearing what people have to say. People come from all different backgrounds, and maybe you have an education that allows you to know more about these industries that I don't, and you guys can tell me and teach me something. But I just enjoy hearing these stories. I enjoy analyzing them and seeing what they have to do. So talk with me about it and see. I'm interested to see what you guys like. So that's just a quick news segment for what has happened in the past 2 weeks. And now we can move on to the Pics of the Week. Now, the Pics of the Week is a section of the show where I pick something that I use, and I think you guys would like too. And this week, for the Pics of the Week, let's take a look on over here at Webex. Webex is made by Cisco and is basically a meeting software. So if you guys have ever used maybe Google Hangout or just simply Skype or FaceTime where you are meeting with other people, Webex allows you to meet with other people, and you can share your desktop, you can work on ideas, you can do a lot of different stuff. It's a really powerful software. Now, the reason I'm suggesting this for you guys is that there is a free version. The free version allows you to meet up with 3 other people. And for me, a lot of times I want to use this for my group projects at school. Not all of us live off campus and on campus, and we're trying to meet and stuff like that. And if you're like me, if you're my age and you have that problem, Webex will be a great solution for you because it's free. I've tried other ones like GoToMeeting and some other different software, which are great. They're all great companies, but they don't have a free version. And so Webex by Cisco actually has a free model for up to 3 people, and usually that's enough. It allows you to do, the free version has standard definition video, so it's not high def. But honestly, the high def versus standard def, if I'm meeting with people and showing desktops, I haven't really noticed the difference. And it allows you to hear their voice, see their face, and also just maybe work on a project together, work on a document, work on a presentation, anything that you can think of. So the reason I picked it is mainly just because of that free version. I've struggled to find a free software that works. Another one that I'm going to suggest to you guys to go out and try is Google Hangouts. Google Hangout is for if you have a Google Plus page. So maybe a lot of you have a Gmail, but you haven't quite looked into Google Plus yet. Your Gmail account can be turned into a Google Plus account. Google Plus, think of it like a Facebook page, only not with Facebook. You guys know my feelings about Facebook and how much I don't like it. But think of it like a Facebook page on Google Plus. It's a social community, it's a social network. But the main thing that I like about it is it allows you to do Hangouts. Hangouts, you can have multiple people. I don't even know the number. I want to say up to like 25 people in the same Hangout. And they have a lot of different add-ons for playing games with each other, for sharing your screen. You can do a Hangout on air, which is pretty much, you could do a live broadcast, like I've done sometimes, with a Google Hangout with numerous people. So there's a lot of cool, powerful softwares out there for this type of meeting with people and collaborating. But I want to bring Cisco WebEx and Google Hangouts to your guys' attention. I think they're great. If you kind of click through here on this page, you can kind of see their different products and what they do, what they have. And let's see here. If we go to plans, I think you can start to see. So yeah, the basic plan, 3 people, and then it works all the way up. So if you're willing to pay maybe $24 a month, you could actually have up to 8 people on your thing with high definition video and some other features. So it's really customizable for what you need and for what you want to do. I know a lot of businesses are starting to use WebEx. They're also using other things like GoToMeeting, but this one is pretty affordable and I really do like it. So that is my pick of the week. Now, the next thing I wanted to cover with you guys is my tip of the week. The tip of the week is something that I have found that someone in my life asked me how to do, and I was able to help them out. Now, someone asked me, hey, Mike, what is an easy way on my Mac to take a screenshot? I just want to take a screenshot of what's happening, and I don't know how to do that quickly and easily. Now, there is a program on your Mac called Grab, and for those of you who are listening to the podcast, I'll try to explain this as best as possible so you guys can see what I'm doing. But let's just say I want to take a screenshot of this desktop, just my desktop. I have nothing on there right now, so usually people don't want to do this. So I'm just taking a screenshot. Now, what you can do is you can hold down Shift, Command, and then press the number 3, and you'll hear the sound effect. I don't know if you guys heard that, but you hear it make a little shutter sound like a camera. And then what it does is it puts it right over here, puts it on your desktop. And so it creates an image and puts it on your desktop of whatever was on your screen. And we can open that up, and it's going to be kind of confusing because it's desktop on desktop. But there we go. So there's a screenshot. So that's Shift Command 3. Now there's another one, Shift Command 4. And what this does, if you guys watch, if I hold Shift Command and 4, all of a sudden my cursor turns into some crosshairs. And what those crosshairs can do is I can select what I want to take a screenshot of. Maybe I don't want my whole desktop. Maybe I just want a certain piece of it. So let's go over here and let's just say I want my dock down here. So I'm going to click and drag all the way across and down. Maybe I'm showing someone all the different applications I have. And you'll hear the shutter again. And again, it'll put it over on to the desktop. Sometimes it takes a little bit, so it's right there. And if we open that up, you see that I have now a screenshot of just where I selected. What that's doing though, what that shortcut is using, that's using a program called Grab. And so if you go up to your Spotlight and you just search for Grab, and you open that up, it'll show up here, up top here, and you can do capture, and you have a lot of the same options. I was just showing you a keyboard shortcut, so you don't have to go through and open a different application. Your Mac just knows what to do with that exact shortcut. So that's my tip of the week. I hope that helps you guys out in doing some screenshots. And there's a lot of different uses for that. When you're teaching people how to do something on your computer and you want to take them step by step and you want to take a photo, a screen grab each step of the way, that's a lot of times when I'm using screen grabs. I'm building a tutorial for someone and I'm doing that. Or I want to, sometimes I'm just taking a picture of something funny that I'm doing on my computer and emailing it out to someone as a joke. There's a lot of different applications for it. But I hope you guys liked that. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was a very quick show today. I kind of want to get down and get to the point of what I was talking about. But if you guys want to contact me, please do. Please ask me questions. I love it. I love helping you guys out. I had a couple people email me about some Xbox questions because they saw some of my other videos. I'm going to be doing some more tutorial videos very, very soon. I'm really busy right now. But there will be more tutorial videos coming out that don't have to do necessarily with Open Mic Night. But email me, mike@wegertech.com. Tweet at me @mwieger, and go over and visit my website, wegertech.com. You will find a lot of different stuff there. You'll find my tutorial videos. You'll find this podcast, as well as Corner Chair Podcast. That's another podcast I do with a friend that I really like to do. We talk about a lot of different stuff, not even technology. So if you kind of want a more laid-back podcast, go check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I will see you guys next week. But until then, tech on.